Hey everyone, Maestro here. I am the football enthusiast. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for joining me. So let's talk football. Today I thought we could kind of look at the Premier League table and talk about top four. It's in the title. You would have seen it before you clicked on this video. And I kind of want to give my thoughts on the top four race and how I think it will turn out. It's kind of been a roller coaster from the beginning. Before the season started, the predictions was essentially City and Liverpool kind of vying for the title, and teams like United, Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea fighting for that third and fourth position. And well, Arsenal find themselves top, fighting City for the title. And there was a point where it seemed like Newcastle could very much staple themselves onto that fourth position, especially with how they performed pre-World Cup. Post-World Cup, it hasn't been the case. They've kind of fallen off a bit. Too many draws, quite a bit of losses, and just ultimately they've wavered quite a bit to how we'd expect them to play. Because let's be honest, they were punching above their weight a bit. In the first half of the season, it was exceptional play from Eddie Howe and his team. And they've kind of come back to ground as of right now. Tottenham are kind of been a flimsy side. You think they have it in them. They have the personnel, I believe, the players to do so. With a world-class manager like Conte, which I still believe he is a world-class manager. But they've just been just a bit too flimsy, a bit too fluky, kind of up and down all throughout the season. And we can see here right now the table, they find themselves in fourth. With Liverpool, I mean, we never thought for a second they'd be in this position. And I'd say around 20 to 15 games in, we're thinking that they'd finish 8th or 9th. It was just a dreadful season for them at that point. Still is now, considering who their manager is and the players they have. But even they find themselves once again back into the top four race. And I kind of want to give my thoughts essentially on the top four race and kind of who I think will finish and how it will happen. So I do want to mention halfway through the season, I made my predictions for the league. And at fourth, I had Tottenham. I had Arsenal City as the top two, of course. I had United third, of course. And my 4, 5, 6 was, in fact, Tottenham fourth, Liverpool fifth, and Newcastle sixth. That was my initial prediction. Reason being, because, at the time, Liverpool were, I believe, 9th. And I did believe that they would kind of somewhat recover some level of form to build themselves up to the table, but not to fourth. And I also did believe that Newcastle would kind of wither away, and Tottenham would, alongside Conte, would be stable and consistent enough to get that fourth spot. And yeah, but as of right now, I mean, in the past 2 weeks, people have kind of gone up and down. When Liverpool absolutely, embarrassed Man United 7-0 at Anfield, there was a feeling around the football community in the Premiership in England that the fourth spot will go to Liverpool. That they're now ready to kind of find some level of consistency within their season and get that fourth spot. But then they lose 1-0 against Bournemouth, which is just kind of insane considering what happened last week. And yeah, but look, I should have probably mentioned, so Tottenham 48 points, 27 games played. Newcastle 25 games played, 44 points. So 2 games in hand over them. Liverpool 26 games played, 42 points. And I want to make my prediction right now. I think Tottenham are going to finish as the number 4 team. I think Tottenham will be 4th. I think Liverpool will be 5th and Newcastle 6th. Actually, it's the same prediction I made halfway through the season. And I do want to say I myself have been flip-flopping a bit. I did kind of believe that once Liverpool beat Man United, that they would get that 4th position. But I think I was just a bit too over the top, a bit too eager to say that. I mean, I never believed they were back, but I did believe that we would find a level of play to get the 4th spot. But I think I was a bit too rash with that, because looking back at that 7-0 win and kind of really assessing it, and once again, to all the Liverpool fans, it is a historic result. Of course, I'm not denying that, but it wasn't fortunate. But I do think that result kind of fooled a lot of people. It didn't tell the full story, because at the end of the day, it is just one game. And yes, they were exceptional, but Man United were absolutely horrific. I think you can generally make a case that 15 of the 20 teams in the Premiership would have beaten that United team 4-0 on that day, considering how they played. It was just dreadful. An anomaly, essentially, in this season. And after the Bournemouth game, once again, after the Bournemouth game, I don't want to make the same mistake and be a bit too rash again and say, oh, they're shit. No, look, I don't think they'll get to the 4th spot because I don't think they will have that consistency. I think they will continue to stumble far more than Tottenham. I trust Tottenham to kind of grind out those wins with Harry Kane, Son, and Højbjerg, and a team defensively I think are strong, and mentally I think are a bit more prepared alongside Conte. Because with Liverpool, when a team like Liverpool doesn't challenge for the league, it's hard to get them revved up for top 4, because even top 4 is beneath them, essentially. It's beneath a team like Liverpool, considering how good those players are and what they've achieved alongside Klopp. It can get them a bit hard to get their mind right for such an achievement. You know, Klopp going into the dressing room saying, guys, let's get ready, let's go for that 4th spot, let's do that. It might be a bit hard to take and get revved up for, considering where they once were. It's hard to somewhat motivate a player, a group of players to go ahead and achieve something that seemingly they could think is far beneath them. But that's just me shooting out a theory. It's just a little theory, but because the other reason why I think Tottenham will get top 4 is because I think Newcastle will continue to. I think they'll fall below Liverpool, and I wouldn't be surprised if they fall lower. Actually, I would. I think 7th is too much, but Newcastle, I think teams have them figured out. I think that's the case. You know, they are a very strong defensive side. Statistically, the best defensive side in the league. I could be wrong there. I'm pretty sure I'm correct. Actually, no, I am right. Right, the 18 goals conceded. That is the least, and out of every team in the league. But I think teams have them figured out. They know how to play against Newcastle, against Eddie Howe, and Eddie Howe doesn't have the personnel, I think, as of right now, to kind of switch things up and find a new way to make themselves dominant as they were before. Of course, other things that factor into this kind of decision are fixture lists. So, firstly, I want to talk about with Liverpool's fixture list first, because their fixture list is by far the hardest. So, right out the gate, look, so that's the Champions League right there, but let's ignore that. So, Fulham against Fulham, that's postponed, that doesn't count. So, if you look right here, City away is next. After that, Chelsea away, and then Arsenal at home. Just like against United, maybe because it's a big team, they will get revved up again and produce a performance worthy of a win against such teams. But considering City is at home and what they have at stake with the title race, and the fact that they can't really afford to drop points against a team like Liverpool, I can't see anything but a City win. Chelsea away. So Chelsea, of course, we all know how they have their issues too, but they are a mature side, and I don't think they can get more than a draw against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. So that's an issue. And then you have the league leaders, Arsenal. Now, surprisingly, you could say the Arsenal game could be the game that the most likely to win out of those three I just mentioned, considering it's at Anfield. And it is the last time that their game against Arsenal at Anfield will be the first time they've played at Anfield since their 7-0 win against United. So that really could spur something forward for Liverpool and kind of reinvigorate that feeling that they felt against United and revert back to that level of play, which of course will be trouble for Arsenal. Now, of course, Arsenal are better than United, and they should be able to kind be a bit more mature and wither that level of play. So it will be a much tougher game. But either way, this could be a loss for Liverpool too, or a draw. They could also win, but it's tough. And after this, of course, they will then have to play Tottenham once again at Anfield, and I understand that, but another tough game. So they have 4 games against the top 6 in the final set of fixtures. They also have games against Leeds away, who are fighting relegation, and you don't want to. It always sucks to face teams fighting relegation this stage of the season. So that's tough. Now, a hope is the fact that they have a good amount of home games coming up too. Look, West Ham away, also fighting relegation. That's tough. Once again, you never want to fight teams fighting relegation. Brentford, that should be a fine game. Brentford are comfortable, I believe. Actually, let me check. Am I wrong? Yes, they are comfortable. They're 9th. Oh, they're very, very comfortable. My apologies for underestimating them. And ultimately, their fixture list is, I think, the worst out of the 3. Because if you look at Tottenham, Southampton away, Everton away, Brighton home, Bournemouth home, Newcastle away, United home, Liverpool away, Palace home. Look, there are no easy games in the Premiership. Look, 80% of the games in the Premiership aren't easy. I don't believe that they're all not easy. Some of them are in fact easy, but especially at this stage of the season, it's never easy. But just off the fixture list, that's one more reason to suggest that Tottenham will finish above Liverpool. Let's look at Newcastle. I don't think Newcastle will finish above. I think they'll finish 6th, Newcastle, below Liverpool and Tottenham. But Forest away, United home, tough one there. West Ham away, Brentford away, Villa away, Tottenham home. It's a big game there. Everton away. That's a tough fixture. They got Arsenal too, if you see down below. They got Chelsea finally at the season. So, yeah, my decision of placing Tottenham in the 4th spot isn't heavily dictated by their fixture list, but it is a factor. Their fixture list is by far the most lenient. And with that, and also just how I can't seem to trust this Liverpool side. I after that Bournemouth game, I can't trust them to, even if they were to beat City or Chelsea, or they'd lose against City, draw against Chelsea, and then beat Arsenal at Anfield. I can't trust them to be that consistent again. It seems they have a tough time getting up for the games against the Fulhams, the Brentfords, the mid-table teams, to also the West Hams, the Evertons, the Bournemouths, etc. And with that being said, I still feel confident in Tottenham finishing top 4. Tottenham 4th, Newcastle 5th, and Liverpool 6th. Now, I do also want to mention Chelsea. Chelsea have... I was going to say they've hit form. They haven't really hit form. Watching them play, they still don't particularly play that well. But 2 wins in a row for them in the Premiership. That's something. And I'm sure they're excited, Chelsea fans, considering it's a new team. Enzo was magnificent during those 2 games. He's a lovely player to watch, he really is. But let's look at it right now. They are at 37 points. Tottenham at 48. They are 11 points away with 1 game in hand. Let's say they win that game in hand, they're now 8 points away. I don't see them bridging that gap in the amount of games left to get to that top 4 spot. Now, we could check their fixture list just to be sure. Let's see what it looks like for them. So we have Everton home, so 3 home games in a row, which is great for them. Everton, Villa, Liverpool. Wolves away, Brighton home, United away. That's a tough game. Brentford home, Arsenal away. Tough game. And look at this. City away. Yeah. Even if they had like a mediocre fixture list, I still wouldn't pip them for top 4. But with this fixture list right here, yeah, I don't see them bridging that gap towards Tottenham, towards Newcastle or Liverpool. I think 7th is definitely realistic, but just not top 4. So yeah, and also I do want to mention United. Yeah, look, Tottenham are only 2 points behind. United do have a game in hand, but they are 2 points behind, and there is a worry there. But I'm not worried. I mean, look, I would love for United to not finish in the top four, but I'm pretty confident that they will get that third spot, and I do think by the end of this season there will be some distance between third and fourth. Not a lot of distance, but just 6-7 points between the two, or maybe 5. Maybe 6-7 is a bit too much, but like 5, something like that. But they're not winning the title. United, of course, I mean, to be honest, they were never in the race, but they're not dropping out from third. They are where they belong, and I think they'll finish there. So that's my prediction for the top 4. I'm going for Arsenal 1, 2 with City, United 3rd, Tottenham 4th, Newcastle 6th, Liverpool 5th, Newcastle 6th, Chelsea, I mean, I think they'll finish around 8th, 7th. I can't see them breaking into 4th, definitely 4th, no way. But I mean, it's football, let's see what happens. If we see something special, then we see something special. Whoever. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. Please leave a like if you enjoyed. Please subscribe for more. Please make sure you take care of yourselves, and please have a great day. Cheers.